Hi everyone, welcome again to another video clip from Teacher Joseph. And this week, our weekly lesson is focusing in on food here in the UK. This isn't the first time we've done video clips about food here, but we're going to go a little bit deeper this time. So to get us started, we need to ask the question about energy. And where do we get our energy from? Well, of course, we get our physical energy from food. But I suppose the question is, where do we get our mental energy from? And this is, well, it's kind of a big deal, isn't it, when we think about it, where we get our mental energy from? Because many of us get a bit stuck. We get distracted. We get into a problem with thinking, with distraction, and all the other things are going on in our minds. Now, in our physical bodies, we eat, we don't have to deal with that kind of stuff. We just eat, the food gives us energy. But when it comes to studying and looking at the language, uh, energy should be flowing. As I'm always telling you, one good way to check on that is by looking at your joy level and seeing how happy you are. And if you have any difficulties with being happy and studying, you have a right to ask why. I'm not saying that studying is the most natural thing in the world, but I can tell you that communication and language is the most natural thing in the world. It may be time for you to leave the books behind and move into an area of your life where you're actually communicating and using what you know. Many of you, I know, are very afraid of that. You're very afraid to actually be thinking about those kinds of things. But the reality of the situation is that unless you're willing to let go of academia, you're never going to be communicating effectively. So it's really, really important that you keep that in your mind. Now, how do we deal with the natural flow of energy? I mean, what does that look like really for all of us? For everyone, it's different, but you kind of get that feeling if energy isn't flowing because you feel a little bit stuck and you kind of feel like something just isn't right. And if you are feeling like that today, it's time for you just to write down why you were learning English in the first place, what brought you to that decision, and just to recapture your learning. Sometimes we get into a bit of a rut, as we say in English. We get into a bit of a problem because so many conflicting views come to us. And those of us who are maybe a little bit more sensitive really feel that, and it can cause us problems. So it's important to come to the table of learning with a clear mind. If you are having distractions of some kind, you don't need to rush away and meditate on a mountaintop for 3 months, but you do need to be asking yourself, well, what's stopping me? What are the barriers and what are the obstacles? Is it just my own negativity? Is it that I can't believe that I can actually learn? Is it time? Usually we find that these things are just excuses. You know, when someone tells me, "Oh, I would love, to learn more English, but sadly I don't have time." The truth of the matter is, if you had time to do it, you would, and you can dress that up into whatever you want. But that's the truth of the matter. Now, the affirmation for today is all about energy, and it's just encouraging you to look at your energy to see where that's going. So the affirmation for today is simply, My energy is well spent studying. And that simply means that you don't feel guilty about using your energy to study. My energy is well spent studying English. So you shouldn't have any regrets about that. But you do need to be focusing on what you're bringing. If there's some problem there, if you don't have the energy, if it's a bit dull or boring, maybe you need to change. You don't need to give up English, but maybe you just need to change how you interact with it. Communicating with other people gives me great energy, boundless energy. But maybe for you, you've had too much of the books, maybe. Something to think about. So remember, today, using your energy to study English is well spent. Okay, spent is the past tense of the verb to spend, and it's how we talk about spending time, spending energy. If it's well spent, it means it's a good thing. Okay, so energy is well spent studying English. That's it from me for now. I'll catch you all again soon, and I wish you all a wonderful day. See you.